Okay, it's April 13th, 2023. I'm at the Curry Boat Launch, which is the first station of our floodplain monitoring, annual floodplain monitoring. You can see the river was up basically about 10 feet. There's a lot of deposition, a lot of sand on the up here, even at the tree level, on the terraces, in the boat launch itself. A lot of deposition, so we're going to be able to get a nice, good sample. Of course, we're doing incremental sampling, 15 intervals from this side of the boat launch, 15 intervals from that side, and this is our upstream station. And you can see from a deposition perspective, it's just beautiful, nice sand. It's been dry. So the river has come down to just under 14 feet, I believe, as of this morning. So we're here at the Curry Boat Launch, upstream of Midland, on April 13th, 2023. This is still at Curry Boat Launch, just to give you an idea. You can see all the deposition. Even the roads were already scraped and cleaned off, and there's a good row of the sediment that was pulled off here. So it looks like the river may have gotten up to even the back of this parking lot, because there's some scrape as far as there. So good deposition, looks like a good event, and the river has dropped down, so we should get a good representative of the floodplain concentrations here. Still at Curry Boat Launch, to give you an idea, in 2023, just how great this sampling is. This is a hard rock. This is the surface deposition, these flakes. This is kind of stuff we look for as far as our increments. So it's really good sampling off these hard surfaces. So we have our Curry Boat Launch, and we double bag it. That's our sample for April 13th, 2023. Okay, here at Caldwell Boat Launch, and the flooding has come up about a good halfway up the boat ramp, and you can see there's some very still undisturbed areas. The boat ramp is not in the water yet. We have excellent, beautiful deposition over in this corner, over here. I'm sure we're going to have it on the floodplain as well. And but this area, this part looks fairly decent. You can start seeing the debris about halfway up. So we had really good deposition here at Caldwell. It's April 13th, 2023. So our first sample here at the Gordonville Bridge, or Caldwell Boat Launch, is this portion of the ramp that leads down to the water, kind of like between these two posts here. So we take it, and you can see the chips, which is really what we're looking for, because that's on a hard asphalt surface. So we got a really great sample here for the this is the Gordonville Boat Launch sample right in this area. Okay, this is 2023, April 13th. This is the levee deposit that we sample here at the Caldwell Boat Launch, Gordonville Bridge. We sampled this area for the boat launch itself. Then we come up a little higher, as initially we saw some size separation. This is more of a sandier type of sediment versus down there being more silty. So we take a sample just to compare what settled out about 7 feet down versus what settled up on top here. So this is the Caldwell Levee Deposit 2023. Okay, this is at Freedom Festival Park. The lower ramp is still underwater, which is fine. We have a lot of great deposition on this very hard surface. You can see how the shorelines really got covered. And right here on the boardwalk. So we're going to take 30 increments from areas of the decision unit, which is the Freedom Festival boardwalk here. It's April 13th, 2023. Okay, here we are at Immerman Park Boat Launch, And then on the side here is the levee. This is a BMA on both sides here. So we just got here, and the park is closed, or the gate is locked, I should say. People are walking around, but they can't drive back here. But if you look at the boat launch, so the water in the Tittabawassee went from 14 feet and it rose up to just about 24 feet. And sediments extend all the way to the V, basically on a flood of 24 feet in the Tittabawassee here at Immerman Park. All this, the dock is not in yet. All this is fresh sediment because they clear it off every spring for the Walleye Festival and fishermen. There is a mound of at least 3, if not 4 feet right in this little dip here of newly deposited sediment. So there's debris and sticks and stuff like that. So we're going to get a boat launch sample here, and then we're going to come up on the levee, and that's another station that we'll do on this side. This is Immerman Park, April 13th, 2023. So even though the park is closed down here at the boat launch, you can see lots of footprints, people, lots of dog prints. People are walking their dogs down here. They're still coming down here. And that's why we sample these public areas for recent deposits to see what they're potentially exposed to. April 13th, 2023. So I'm downstream of the boat launch just a little bit on this path, and there's this overhanging tree here. I want to show you this deposit that came on the backside of this sculpted out area. As you can see, look at that fresh sand covering this entire area. I guess this is what they call a splay, when sediments come off and then deposit. And there could be some grain size partitioning going on here as the current velocity dumps it off on the top, and then finer stuff gets deposited a little further down. But that's a pretty big deposit right there. So we are sampling this levee along here where the sand, big pockets of sand like this. That's our Immerman Park levee sample, April 13th, 2023. Here we are, West Michigan Park, April 13th, 2023. Looks like they put some kind of mat down last year or so to help the grass grow on top of the old splay. We have some deposition, not a whole lot, but there's some on the sidewalks here. There's some on this cement pad, and there's some pockets of places where the sand has deposited out along this filter fabric kind of thing. So we have more than enough, and so this is West Michigan Park in April 2023. Okay, we're here on Riverside Drive, and this is outside the berm area along the river. We had pockets of deposition, so we basically had to walk through on the edge. We don't do turf mats anymore because they're hard to find or they get ripped out. But there's enough deposition along this edge that basically just walked and got 30. It took a little more than 30 increments. It took about 45 in this area of the bank. And that's our decision unit for Riverside Outer. And it's April 13th, 2023. All right, for the Riverside Inner sample, we found some really nice sand right here off the driveway. It's kind of near the tree that we used to sample over here, but there's some nice waves of this sand right here on the hard surface. So we sampled that. I talked to the homeowner, and they been here for 7 years. They said it did top and did come over onto Riverside Drive. He's called Dow to help clean up a little bit. And that's it for Riverside, both outer, which was down there, and then inner, which was in here, April 13th, 2023. Okay, here we are at Wicks Park, and there's some deposition. Not a lot. This is going to take a little bit of work, but water did come up this high, and there you go. You can see a little bit right there. So we're going to be able to get enough for a sample. So we'll push them up in here. So this will be our sample spot on Wings Park on the Saginaw River. It's April 13th, 2023. All right, here we are at the Zilwaukee Park boat ramp. There's a little bit of deposition on the concrete there, but you can see right here we got those nice little pancakes of surficial sediment caked up. So we have enough samples. Here we're kind of upstream of the ramp a little bit in this area. Try to get some off the rocks as well, wherever there's this pancakey stuff. That's, you can see here, just like that. Nice flaky surficial crust. So we got a good sample here at Zilwaukee, April 13th, 2023. There we go.